A while back, we did a video on Amber's mom coming. Amber's our ex-roommate. Her mom showed up to visit us and asked us if Amber basically could have been set up by Martha, blah, 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 blah. If you want to see the original video of how we ended up in a trailer park and how we got scammed by Martha, then the link will be here and it'll also be in the description. And if you want to learn about Amber's mom and that whole incident that happened a little while back, then that will also be there.
I mean, so long story short, Amber was blaming Martha for setting her up for 2 counts of possession of
Walter White
ice.
Or blue ice.
Ice. You guys get what we're talking about? Trying not to say the word for YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
But selling illicit substances, ice, right? 2 counts of that and 2 counts of possession of the substance.
Yes.
So now we have the full details on the story. Thanks to the court documents, it's all public record. But so what happened was she got set up basically by I guess it was state police.
It was the sheriff's department.
By the sheriff. And so they had an officer buy 1.75 grams from Amber.
From Amber.
Twice. 4 days apart. 2 different times. So I mean, there's just no way this could have been a setup.
Yeah, it was like $120 transaction or 125 and then 130. Like, it couldn't have been a setup. It couldn't have been Martha.
That's why they knew it was her. They could easily identify her. She had some tattoos that, I mean, I've only seen on her ever. It's not like a common tattoo, like a big bat tattoo on her chest. I mean, you can't forget that tattoo. And she already has a record. She's been in the system. So they knew it was her. So I guess they set her up somehow. I guess that's where tax dollars go.
It's pretty crazy though, because it's like so she apparently fled to Colorado. I don't know if she knew that they were looking for her, but there was a warrant out for her arrest. So she got caught in Colorado and extradited back to Florida.
Yeah, the time she got extradited, that was when the mom came over. It was right around that time frame or whatnot. So originally, Amber pled not guilty. I guess she was going with the whole Martha set me up defense kind of thing. But then she must have found out the evidence somehow through court, the discovery and all this stuff. And when she saw the evidence, I'm guessing that's when she changed her plea.
Yeah, she signed a guilty plea. All this is public record. And especially like in Pinellas County where we are, you can see all the public records.
Yeah, so she changed her plea to guilty. And they basically gave her a slap on the wrist. She got really lucky. She got a good plea.
She got lucky.
Like she got 310 days for each count, but she gets to serve those consecutively.
Yeah.
So basically 310 days, 84 days.
Or concurrently.
Yeah, that's what I meant, concurrently.
I always like wonder about that.
Yeah, she gets to serve them concurrently. Yeah. So 310 days, 84 days credit for time served.
Yeah, and then now it's been even longer, so probably by now.
So I mean, less than a year.
Less than a year.
For selling ice.
For selling ice.
Not a bad sentence.
Proof. Like they had proof that she did it.
Yeah. But I mean, this is like not considering the whole, debate whether these things should be legal or not legal. Like, regardless of all that, the way it's set up right now, it's like, and she got lucky. Like, maximum sentence per each count was 5 years.
It's like, what if she had to do that consecutively?
Right. The maximum sentence is 5 years in prison, 5 years probation with a $5,000 fine. She got 310 days that she gets to serve concurrently.
Yeah.
I get those mixed up all the time.
Yeah.
And her fines totaled around $8,400.
Yeah.
Because the extradition was $4,100.
Yeah, by itself.
And then each fine was about $1,100, like for each count.
Never go on the run. It's expensive.
So, I mean, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that's not bad. But the crazy thing is, I was thinking, like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, man, this confirmed, like, when we very first met her and we were living with her, we only lived with her for a very short period of time because you could just tell, like, she was just, I don't know.
It was like 2 weeks.
It was like 2 weeks. I caught a vibe on her, though, and I was like, man, she's so nice, she's so sweet, but something isn't right. But here we are, 2 years later, and it's like, dang, she's literally serving time for exactly.
I mean, she also had sores all over her.
She did.
It wasn't a hard vibe to catch.
Okay,
it was pretty
true.
obvious.
But they were all telling us, like, when we first moved in, the whole thing was, it's a drug-free house, and like, da-da-da-da. Like, she basically sold it to us, like, everyone was, definitely had their shoes on, right? Or I don't even know how you would say this. You know what I'm saying, though? But she sold it to us like that had all been handled. Everybody had background checks. It's like, no, you have like active felons and like drug addicts, active drug addicts and stuff like that. But I was thinking, like, this is how people reoffend, unfortunately, because like the slap on the wrist, she was selling that for $100, $125, $130. Now she's gonna have $8,000 in fines with felonies when she comes back out.
It's
and
like, how do you get a job to pay
right.
those fines?
Like, how do you And also, you know, that's not really enough time to detox off, you know, the mental addiction, I would say, you know, like
Oh, yeah.
6 months. It's like as soon as she gets back out, she's dealing and she's using. I mean, probably going to be back doing the same thing, especially now she has restitution to pay. So we still haven't heard from Martha yet. I mean, we haven't heard from Amber, but we heard from Amber's mom, so it's kind of like we heard through the grapevine type thing. But we haven't heard from Martha since, December 2020, maybe September 20, something like that. A long time. It's been a long time. She's still on the run. And the great thing is when people get arrested when they have warrants, I guess in other states, then like it gets reported and they get extradited. So if she ever did get in more trouble, I suppose they would get her and she'd be back in Florida.
I mean, I think Martha would get more than a slap on the wrist. Because what does she have, 3 felony warrants out for her arrest?
For a long time.
Like, her charges are more serious than, you know, small possession of a substance or something like that. Like trying to defraud people of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Faking deeds to homes and title, all this kind of stuff.
Identity theft.
Yep.
Yeah, Martha has a lot of people suing her. Like I saw another one of the mobile homes that she tried to scam somebody with. The park actually ended up, like I guess it went vacant and nobody was paying the rent or whatever. So the park took her to court. And I don't know how they did this because I'm like, how do you serve somebody when they're not physically present? Like, how is it possible?
I mean, if you haven't paid your lot rent in over a year, I'm sure there's some kind of process to evict the person.
True, and it's like
because they got it done. They evicted her.
They evicted her. They successfully evicted her and repossessed that house, or that trailer. So, I mean, there's definitely people coming for her. There's another person or whatever that we told you guys about. Actually, they're kind of like us, where they were suing her for defrauding of the amount that they paid for the place, and that case hasn't moved.
I mean, we really got extremely lucky.
We did.
Because if we to say we're not going to move into the place and she's going to rent it out for us, then we'd just be SOL.
Right. Yeah.
It's like we got so lucky by moving in. Like, we don't have the title, so like, you know, we technically don't own it, but we paid for it. But we did not move in here.
Yeah.
We'd be like everyone else.
Yeah.
We would have paid the amount of money and have nothing to show for it. Like right now, we don't have anything to show for it necessarily, but we have a place to lay our heads at night. Right. You know what I mean? So like we have something to show for it temporarily.
Right.
I mean, it's odd. I don't know. We got super lucky.
And I mean, I think also it kind of works right now because we're paying the park rent, and it's like if they were gonna evict her and go through that whole process, that could take another year.
I mean, they couldn't. What are the basis for eviction? The lot rent's being paid.
True, but her, like, because she doesn't live here, so a non-occupied whatever.
I mean, they could try. That's a stretch.
They could try, but I don't think they want.
We would
those
have to
problems.
look over the park rules again. That might be in there. I don't remember. It probably is.
I don't think they want those problems because this is an old janky trailer anyway. So I don't think they really.
They just want to keep collecting.
They just want to keep collecting.
You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what will happen with Martha because I'm like, how is she even? Like, apparently she dropped the whole name change thing. That disappeared. Like,
yeah, she was about to get busted.
She was about to get busted with that. Which I'm like, how did she even think that was a good idea in the first place? Like, did she not know? I don't know. I don't know what she knows and what she doesn't know. You know, I don't even know if she watches this. Who knows? She could.
Probably not.
Probably not. But
she would send an email or something from an anonymous email address because it would just hurt her ego too much to see it.
Yeah, it would.
And she would do something. And she's so vengeful.
Especially because we're not using her real name, so.
Or picture. She would want credit.
Yeah, she would want credit. But, yeah, we don't know what happened to her. I wonder, though, I'm like, how do you get along in the modern world without using, like, your driver's license? Without, like, she was getting arrested so much here that how is she not getting arrested anywhere else?
Right.
You know, I'm like, she probably is using a fake ID. That's my guess.
Well, probably has one, but getting arrested with a fake ID, like, they're gonna figure that out.
Right. So also, she, like, right after we met her and we gave her all our money, she went and bought a brand new Escalade, right? And so now, like, in the county court records, whatever, apparently she's suing Escalade for, like, manufacturer's errors on the vehicle. And last we saw, she was getting that car repossessed. Like, she was trying to sell it off to somebody because she didn't have the, I guess, funds or whatever it was. She needed to get rid of it. So.
Yeah, she probably leased the car.
She probably leased it.
Or at least had a car note and couldn't pay it.
Yeah. But so now she's trying to sue them, I think just to make money, though.
But she's not going to be able to do that. She would get busted.
Right? But she's suing them from away. Like, she's not in the state.
I mean, when was, oh yeah, she filed it
She
online.
filed it right before she left the state.
Oh yeah.
And then she has, I don't know if she has representation, though. I think she does. I don't know.
But she would at least have to appear in an online court hearing.
And then she would get busted.
Yeah, she's not going to do it. Now, that case is going to get dropped. Just like her case against us.
Yep.
It's going to get dropped.
It got dropped.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait, it was supposed to get dropped
Yeah.
last month. I haven't been keeping up.
Yep, it did. That is, if you guys recall, she was trying to evict us.
Saying we were her tenants,
Saying
not
we
paying
were her
rent.
tenants not paying the rent.
And so we
That-
submitted like a
yeah.
10-page document to the court with all this documentation. She
Yeah.
never replied to the court again.
No, she never did. And so the court let it sit for like 6 months or a year.
She's like a year.
Yeah.
She tried to
literally
evict us in
December 2020.
December 23rd, 2020. Something like
Yeah.
that. It was like right before
She
Christmas.
tried to do it for Christmas. It was such a like, ooh, you gotta be a nasty person to do that.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, even if you did have a tenant that wasn't paying rent, like at least wait till the new year. Like doing it right before Christmas, that's just so nasty.
I mean, so the Amber case is closed. She got a slap on the wrist. Good for her. Hopefully she turns her life around. Who knows? But Martha is still open-ended, so if we hear anything or get any other updates about Martha, we'll let you guys know.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. You to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know. But I don't know.